Thank you, Richard, for your welcome to country. It's always a privilege to stand on Larrakia land. And thank you, Sam. It's the quality of our young leaders that makes me so confident about the Territory's future. First up, I am glad I'm still here. The doctors have confirmed that my heart is in the right place. Today, I'm going to be talking about the year ahead and our bright future. There is a lot happening, which is why we've given you extra information in your kits. You're all here because you love the Territory. My family first called the Territory home back in the 30s. That's when my great-granddad, Con Perry, rocked up to Tennant Creek. We don't know what he was running from. He sure didn't know what he was running to, but we know what kept him here. He found a home, opportunity, hope. There is no full stop on hope. But today I'm not asking you for hope. I'm asking you to share my belief. I believe that everyone deserves a good school and a great job, and there is no better place to find it than the Territory. I'm often asked what my job is, normally by kids in grade 3. And I say my job is to make sure every Territory kid is born happy and healthy, gets to go to a good school. They find their job here, their dream here, in a safe and prosperous Territory. And there is no better example of that than this guy.
Speed 3D are global leaders in additive manufacturing, making the world's fastest 3D metal printers. Recently in Germany, we set the record for the fastest 3D print of a metal part, and in a world first, it was announced that our printer will be deployed by the Royal Australian Navy. Our mission is to make manufacturing easier. We proudly call the Northern Territory home, and we believe this place genuinely has the potential to be a global hub in advanced manufacturing, and it can be powered by renewable energy.
Steve went to Pratt Primary and Dripstone. Some kids dream of being a fiery, or a ranger, or a journo. Steve dreamed about making things. As part of Team Dripstone, he worked on the solar car challenge from Darwin to Adelaide, and he helped build an electric motor from scratch. Afterwards, he thought, what next? Being a child of the Territory, he looked in his backyard, and he turned that motor into a pool pump. But not any old pool pump, the world's best pool pump, 8 times better than any other pool pump. He sold the plans, he made some coin, he went to America. 100 patents later, he felt the call of home. But he still had his dream of making things. With the backing of our government, of the university, he made the world's best 3D printer right here. He has beaten companies worth billions to take home international awards. Our Navy is now on board, and there'll be more announcements this year, but those are Steve's to make. This is the story we want for every kid, that they can find their job here, their dream here. I stand before you as a child of public housing in the Territory. I'm not complaining. I'm grateful for the roof we had, the happy home we had. I'm a product of this place. I grew up in Tennant, in Alice, and I'm now raising my family here in Darwin. There is no better place to raise a family. There is no better place to be a family. But how do we make sure that all of us get there? We have 2 huge generational challenges in the Territory. Socially, we see the cycle of poverty and its tragic consequences. Economically, the cycle of the boom and bust. Today, I will show you how my government is breaking those cycles. We are turning the corner. We are building a brighter future for you and your kids.
The harms associated with alcohol in the Northern Territory are deeply entrenched and impact on every part of our community and every generation. The Northern Territory Government has implemented a range of necessary measures to reduce the harmful use of alcohol. If we want less children in our hospitals, less people in our justice system, and we want more children to attend school, then we need to remain committed to reducing alcohol and stay the course, even when it's not easy.
Wendy's been a tireless social justice advocate as the former head of the Council of Social Services here in the Territory. As a child of the Territory, kids are my priority, and the well-being of our kids tells us who we are. I enter politics to make a difference. I want the pathways to success to be available to all. Some of the kids that I grew up with, went to school with, are doing well. Others aren't. Alcoholism, incarceration, unemployment. But my government is getting results on problems that too many for too long have said are too hard. That's because we understand the complexities of the Territory. A 50% reduction in alcohol-related emissions to Alice Springs Emergency Department. That means healthier families. That's based on our tough approach to alcohol abuse. We have achieved falling notifications to Territory families. That's historic, unprecedented. It means less families in trouble, more kids on the right track. That's the best way to prevent crime. But if you do the wrong thing, there must be consequences. Our boot camps, our programs that force young offenders to face their victims are seeing a 75 to 85% success rate. We will never stop working to make the Territory safer. Our strategies with Wayward Kids are succeeding. But we must also remember there are 60,000 kids in the Territory who are doing the right thing, and we need to work for all of them. We are building a brighter future for them, and here's how.
The Northern Territory is an ideal location for Sun Cable to develop this new industry of intercontinental electricity exports. The solar resource within the Territory is exceptional and world-class. Just as importantly, the Territory's jurisdiction is an ideal location to develop extremely large-scale infrastructure. We've found the entire process of dealing with government to be very efficient.
That's David Griffin, CEO and founder of the amazing Sun Cable. The Territory has the best sun in the world and a great location within Asia. Sun Cable will be the world's largest solar farm, 15,000 hectares, 22 million solar panels and a power line all the way to Singapore. Last year, we gave it major project status. In November, two of Australia's best known billionaires, Mike Cannon-Brookes and Andrew Twiggy Forrest, backed it in. This is nation leading, this is world leading. This will see 300 permanent jobs created in Tennant Creek. We are aggressively pursuing renewables. That is how you tackle climate change and create jobs. Our solar resource means we can not only dream big, we can plan big. We can plan for cheaper power to Territorians. We can plan to power our manufacturing precinct at Middle Arm by renewables. And that manufacturing precinct has received a serious boost by the Australian government working on a national gas reservation policy. That means we can set a gas aside for the making of things, and the Territory will no longer just be an exporter of LNG. The $500 million Coogee methanol plant, the clean fuels plant, the micro LNG plant are all examples of manufacturing, and they're all on track for 2021 and 550 ongoing permanent jobs. That's the same amount of jobs that we see out of the INPEX site. Santos will soon be announcing their $7 billion worth of works offshore and with middle arm upgrades. INPEX is now looking to expand because their investors want more of what the Territory can offer. The Territory is taking its place as an energy superpower, and that means a brighter future for existing industries, but also for new industries.
As a result of various issues at home and abroad, the whole world knows where Darwin is. Given your location and local capabilities, your city is poised to become a major data storage hub for Australia and the Indo-Pacific region by developing high-speed undersea networks that link Darwin through Asia to the United States. Data centers are critical to exponential technologies supporting commercial industry and defense, including cutting-edge unmanned vehicles and state-of-the-art aircraft like the Joint Strike Fighter. The data center capabilities in Darwin will be the nexus of cloud data support for Australia, as well as your neighbors around the region and the growing oil and gas industries on your doorstep. in support of Chief Minister Gunner, I have been talking to military leaders and big tech companies who all see Darwin's value as a powerful data hub and telecommunications leader in the region. Your government is taking the lead in developing this exciting new area, and I urge you to embrace the possibilities that lie ahead in this revolutionary transformation.
That's retired Lieutenant General John Whistler, who is on our Defence NT team. We have the security, the stable government, the affordable land, and the renewable power that major tech companies want that will see data centres set up here in the Territory. We've already set aside 20 hectares out at Middle Arm, and today I announced a $7.9 million upgrade of our fibre optic network that will take us from 400 gigabits to 20 terabits. Simply, that means it's fast. Our data can fly. This will transform Darwin from being a gigabit city to the NT being a terabit territory. This sets Darwin up to be the telecommunications centre for our country and with Southeast Asia. The demand for reliable places to store data is only growing. Take Singapore. Its power resources are stretched. It's one reason why the Sun Cable project stacks up. They are now considering a cap on data centres. Our upgrade means we are ready to join the subsea optic fibre links that are planned between Darwin, Singapore, Guam, California and Japan. This is how we grow permanent jobs in the Territory, and there is more good news on the jobs front in 2020 for our jobs-led recovery. Our $400 million ship lift will begin construction this year. Sea Dragon said looking to spend $200 million this year with locals. We are restoring Kakadu as a must-see destination for the Australian government, and we are keeping the power on in Jabiru. The Larrakia Barracks is going through a major upgrade using local contractors. Major works are underway out at Tyndall. The Indonesia-Australia free trade agreement is good news for our live cattle trade, and there is excitement in the mineral space. The second Tanami gold mine expansion is now underway. That's worth around $1 billion and will take the mine life out to 2040. KGL Resources is planning to start construction of the Jervois Base Metals project north of Alice in 2020. Core Lithium expects to be in production, our first lithium mine, towards the end of this year. And, importantly, we have scrapped the incentives for fly-in, fly-out workers and put in place incentives for a local workforce. There's more information on the mineral space because there's a lot happening in your kits. We have also just announced that we will expand the ability to store and maintain aircraft at the Alice Springs Airport, taking advantage of our desert weather. As those jets come into land, we can also look to the skies for the Territory's bright future.
Black Sky Aerospace is a cutting-edge rocket manufacturing company and launch provider. Our ability to supply on-demand space services that include solid rocket motors and launch vehicles is enabling Australia's access to space. To support launch services for our customers and industry partners, we have collaborated over the last 4 years with Equatorial Launch Australia and the Arnhem Space Centre. Our collaborations extend further with the Northern Territory Government, who have been a part of our journey since launching the first commercial payloads from Australia. The Northern Territory understand businesses, and their support has opened huge opportunities for companies like Black Sky Aerospace. The Northern Territory truly is boundless possible. We couldn't be more excited to work in the Northern Territory, and Black Sky Aerospace is looking forward to growing Australia's nascent space industry as one of the Territory's biggest partners.
It's easy to understand Blake's excitement. That's because the global space industry is expected to be worth $1 trillion by 2040, and that's where the Territory steps in. The East Arnhem Space Base is one of the best places in the world to launch rockets. It's 12 degrees from the equator. That means shorter flights, heavier payloads for less cost. Equatorial Launch Australia, or ELA, is building the base, and it is backed by NASA. NASA will send up rockets with scientific payloads so that we can better understand our universe. Blake's company will be providing the rockets. This is a big vision supported and led by Yulnu traditional owners. The port in Nhulunbuy is also getting an $8 million upgrade this year. This is not just about supporting space, but growing our tourism and fishing industries. Ladies and gentlemen, For decades we have discussed taking our place in Asia. We are now doing it. We've removed red tape to let business flourish. We are critical to the defence of this country and big projects are underway to fortify the north. We are breaking out of the boom and bust. We are gaining strength. A strong economy means we can invest in ourselves. A bright future for the Territory must mean a bright future for you. That's a quick glimpse into the state-of-the-art hospital out in Palmerston. This is how we invest in health, how we invest in kids. In 2019, there were just over 3,000 operations in Palmerston. In 2020, 4,000. We're continuing to roll out our hearing partnership. Good hearing means good learning, means getting a good job. We had 10 communities last year, we're adding 10 more this year. We are continuing our vital nurse-led home visiting program that supports parents through pregnancy and the first 3 years. This means less infant mortality. It means less family and domestic violence. It means more kids on the right track. 200 more parents will be enrolled this year. This is how we are breaking the cycle on our generational problems. Next, in education, since 2016, we have upgraded 60 schools. 29 more this year. That means jobs for tradies and better schools for our kids. 15 more schools will get rooftop solar this year. Our kids know that renewables are the future. Since 2016, we've established 46 more families as first teacher sites. They concentrate on those things that build strong families that are so important, like reading. There'll be 7 more sites added this year. Let's go bush and look at their bright future.
We are taking back control of our lands, our communities, and our future and our lives. Local decision making means we will be making our own decisions about what works best for us as the younger people living in this area. In areas like housing, education, law and justice, and local government. Through the Rural Archipelago local decision making, agreement with the Northern Territory government, we are deciding our own future because we know what's best for us and understand our communities and our people for the future.
Our local decision making agreements, LDMs, are handing power back to local communities. On group, that means jobs. And this year we will see a 40 housing lot subdivision in Nurrugu, oyster pond grow-outs and a forestry trial. We've signed 8 agreements, we're about to sign 1 more in Nauru. In April this year, 60 Yolngu leaders will gather at Gulkula to embrace Yolngu governance as part of an LDM. That's what LDM is about. This is how we build a brighter future in Aboriginal affairs. Soon we will see the first discussion paper on a treaty in the NT, and we'll see how that might look here. We have built or upgraded more than 1,600 homes remotely, and we are spending $230 million this financial year. I believe that by building better communities, by giving people control over their destiny, we will see less people living rough in Darwin and Alice Springs. A better home means a better life, means better opportunities. But there is a risk to our bright future. Territorians work hard for their families. They don't want the government to cut teachers or nurses or police. They don't want a government to sell their assets. Terry Mills and the CLP sold the port, the buses, the government printing office. They cut teachers. Terry Mills and CLP jacked up your power prices by 30% without notice. Their economic recipe, deep cuts, steep power price rises and asset sales will hurt. The CLP put their interests ahead of yours with scandal after scandal. This term, there has been no repeat of Japanese nightclubs or ministerial bathrooms. We are too busy for that nonsense. We are getting on with the job. That includes responding to the hit our tourism industry is taking from coronavirus and the bushfires. And today we are announcing a $2 million immediate tourism resilience package that is more marketing, more grants, and more dollars for conventions. Eva will be out later today with more details, and there's some information in your kits as well. That's my great-granddad, Con Perry, out in Tennant Creek digging for gold. I think he's looking pretty sharp for someone who's batting. I don't know how much gold he found, but he did find something more valuable. Con, along with Aboriginal man Billy Foster, found the first permanent water source for Tennant Creek out at Cabbage Gum Ore. That is still the main water source for Tennant Creek today. Con left a legacy of certainty for Tennant Creek, upon which we can build. He would never have imagined Sun Cable and Singapore powered by Barclay's golden sun, but he believed in the Territory's bright future. I share that same belief. We've been through the hard times together, and now we are turning the corner. We've come too far to risk all by going back. Kids don't get an education when their teachers are sacked. Families don't get ahead with higher power prices. We are backing in renewables. We are breaking out of the boom and bust. We are backing in our kids. I thank you all for backing the Territory. I'm grateful to my great-granddad for his vision. I ask you to share mine. Thank you.